everyone. My name is Vidor Sani, CEO, co-founder of Conform Medical, and we're going to be talking about cardiac arrhythmia, mainly cardiac ablation. So cardiac ablation is the gold standard to treat cardiac arrhythmia today. There are multiple catheters needed for this procedure, and using multiple catheters leads to higher risk, higher costs, and tons of inefficiencies. So basically, for cardiac ablation, it's a two-step process. You have to identify the targets that you want to go in and ablate. And again, multiple mapping, multiple ablation catheters needed. So what we determined the unmet need here would be to develop one catheter that's capable of doing high density mapping and ablation, versatile enough to go into the atrium and ventricle, and is able to resize, because we want to be able to map and ablate both large and small anatomies. And doing so, we have come up with this catheter. So the next question that follows is, how exactly are you doing this? Because the industry has not been able to do this. And the way we're doing this is by utilizing what's known as soft robotics. And by utilizing soft robotics, we found out that we can conform to any shape, any size, in any chamber. Not only that, we've also found out that we're 1,000 times softer than nitinol, which is used in every single catheter today for medical devices. We also have been able to prove that we have lower COGS. It costs us $42 now to make our catheter. Just to put things in perspective, the bigger guys, it typically costs them about $1,500 to $2,000. Our margins are going to be about 85%. Current margins today are about 28 to 35%. So what does high density mean, right? So that's typically the question that comes up. When these guys are making these small focal point, small format catheters, they only can put so many electrodes on there. They can only put 9 electrodes because these metals, nitinols, are rigid. We have the ability to put 80 electrodes on our catheter, and we've proven the speed and the visibility that you can get. But not only can we do high density mapping, what's really pivotal for us is to provide what we're calling whole chamber mapping. And this becomes incredibly important when we're talking about AFib. And the reason is, today, this is done by piecing all of the information in the heart with a small focal point catheter, as you can see here. We are providing the complete picture at once. And this becomes really important for AFib because AFib is a spatiotemporal disease. So that is incredibly impressive. So for the first time ever, we will really start to understand this disease. And this is huge. It's so huge that last week, the FDA reached back out to us and said that we would qualify for a breakthrough medical device status. So we're really excited about that. Just to give you an idea, how do we differentiate ourselves? We are the only catheter that's on the market that's both high density and large format. So this has kind of been the holy grail. And you can see Johnson & Johnson, Abbott, Boston, Cardio Insight, Acutus, they're all trying to get there. The limitations, of course, have been nitinol. And with nitinol, you have a manufacturing limitation, you have a COGS limitation, you have an IP limitation, scalability limitation. So it's pretty significant. So exactly how much faster are we? As you can see here, we're 94% faster than the market leader. And this is incredibly, incredibly significant. When we did this earlier this year, one of the EPs that was actually doing this looked at the other doctor in the room and said, "Holy cow." And I wanted to understand what that really meant. And he looked at me and said, "Never in my life have I ever thought I would be able to map an entire atrium in 30 seconds. Now, why that's special is because this was our very first try with a very rudimentary catheter. I predict these times are going to come down even more, and we're going to be able to get to sub 15. So there's going to be further optimization here. So the value chain, it's huge, right? We've now reduced the cost. We've reduced the risk profile for the patient. Doctors love it because it's a single catheter. They're not doing catheter exchanges. Insurers love it. There's an economical benefit for hospitals because now they can treat more patients. So it's a win-win for really everybody involved. This market is huge. Now they're saying it's 1 in 6 people that suffer from some form of cardiac arrhythmia. Today, we're at 5.88 billion, and it's only going up, as you can see, with the compound annual growth rate. This is the team here. We just won KOL award in September in Atlanta, Georgia. KOL stands for key opinion leaders. This is the first time that a KOL came to me and made the comment, you guys are playing chess while the rest of the field is playing checkers, which was a nice thing to say. But we feel that we have something really significant. So much so that Daniel Hawkins, who's the co-founder of Shockwave Medical, reached out to me. I live in San Francisco, and he expressed great interest in joining us. And Shockwave had an exit with Johnson & Johnson for $13.1 billion. I've had 2 prior cardiac space exits, so hopefully we can keep that going. Simon and Babak are the original co-founders, and the technology comes out of Weill Cornell Medicine. The reason I wanted to put this slide up is because investors are always concerned about a return, and when you look at medical devices, the typical saying is, well, it's a therapeutic device, which is a PMA, which basically translates to it's going to take a long time. But we know that this space, things are so competitive that when you are providing both mapping and ablation device, everything will get acquired prior to clearance from the FDA. And you can see here pre-approval. So this is huge, this is significant, and we are talking to all 4 strategics currently in this space. We're looking for $5 million for seed financing, and their use of proceeds will just get us into human for mapping. Thank you.
Thank you. That was fantastic.
Thanks.
Could you describe the patent portfolio you have at a high level and which aspects of your technology that they cover?
Yeah. So we have a very extensive IP portfolio, covers the manufacturing, covers the way we use this product, covers the design of the product, and we've done a deep dive, freedom to operate, and that's come up clean. Nobody in this space has ever tried to develop something like this with the use of polymers. They've strictly stuck to nitinol and rigid materials.
So I'm curious, with your device, how does it integrate with the current systems that are out there?
Yeah, great question. And I was hoping someone would ask this. The last thing a hospital wants to buy is yet more capital equipment. So we decided we don't want to make capital equipment, yet we want to make the device that is integratable to any capital equipment out there, whether you're using the Abbott Insight or the Cardo or the Medtronic system or Boston. It's a simple linear signal processing application, and we will be able to integrate with anybody out there.
I know you expect to be acquired before then, but how long do you expect before you can get to commercial stage?
So the exit strategy that I have in my mind is to get 510(k) clearance for a mapping product because it's not therapeutic, get that acquired, and have back-end payouts for the ablation. So looking at 3 years, and with the back-end payouts, everyone is incentivized to keep things going. So that's currently the strategy.